When Eli was a little boy, from the minute he could smile as a baby, his smile would just light up the room. When I found Easter seals, Eli was going through a particularly rough time. He had told me that he didn't want to live anymore and he didn't want to go on anymore. And I didn't really know what to do. And the family resource person at his school had heard about the Easter Seals program. I got a call like within an hour saying, yes, absolutely bring him. You know, he can come tonight, he can come tomorrow morning whenever you're ready. And it was like a weight was lifted off because you feel so lost and so alone and helpless and you don't know what to do. And so it was a huge savings for us to find this program.
A lot of stuff was just weighing down on me, and I'd say I was just at like a very low point in my life, and there's again just a lot of pressure on me, a lot of weight on my shoulders, a lot of weight on my heart, and I really couldn't bear it anymore, and I ended up self-harming. And that's basically how I ended up here. I was very, very nervous and like closed off the first night. I didn't leave my room actually for like the first 2.5 days. It took me a while to get out of my shell, but they're definitely welcoming. Like they check on you and they're really nice and it's awesome, but it's definitely a scary experience at first.
We were on pins and needles the first night, expecting a phone call to come get him or whatever, but it worked out, and it was definitely took us from like a level 10 or 9 as a family, and by the time we picked him up 4 days later, we all felt it a lot better.
Over the years, as we have seen our community change and the needs change, the thing that kept coming up is mental illness and not having opportunities, people not having opportunities for therapy and the support that they need, along with the stigmatism that comes along with mental illness. And we are committed here to removing that stigma, and that's why we call it brain health, because we all have brains, just like we all have arms and hearts and livers, and sometimes they're healthy and sometimes they're not. And I wanted Easter Seals to be able to support people through their journey of wellness to brain health.
When we started these services, we turned the phone on. We got our first client 46 minutes after turning the phone on. And since then services are available 24/7. We respond to all of our calls within 2 hours, and certainly much faster than that most of the time. We are hearing really regularly from hospital social workers and school social workers about kids who are really just struggling and have nothing else to go to, and that this has been a real chance for families to rest and reset and get reconnected.
Our brain health program serves our community. Anyone who is in need of therapy and counseling or immediate crisis response, we're going to serve. Our crisis stabilization program is a children's program, so we serve just children in that program. But brain health is open to anyone who's needing therapy and services and supports. Right services, right time, right place is so important. People can't wait for services. Nobody tells someone who has cancer they have to wait to go see the oncologist. We can't be telling people who are struggling with brain health that they have to wait to see a therapist. We can't be telling people, we know 0 to 3 is the most important part of development. We can't be telling people that they can't have quality childcare when they are in need. We've got to be able to respond to community's needs. And again, we can do that at Easter Seals because of our donors and the community support that we get.
After ending services, families tell us that they finally got connected into the right provider. They got resources for themselves to be able to learn how to respond differently. We hear parents talk about we feel more confident to be able to help them.
His name's Geralt. He's my puppy. I got him to be like an emotional support dog, and eventually he'll end up being possibly a service dog. I just want him to be a well-trained little boy and be able to sense when I'm feeling down.
There's been a big change since Geralt has come into his life. I think he kind of brings a little bit of a calming presence to him. He even enjoys training him, and he's starting to train him for the therapy part of it. So he's starting to train him to do deep pressure therapy on him. And it's really interesting because it's like training Geralt to recognize his physical symptoms that he has when he's having like a panic attack or anxiety is really bad. And then Geralt will eventually recognize that and just come and like lay on him.
Being someone who has gone through it, everyone else I see going through it, I have an instant connection, and it's just something that once you go through it, you can see it. You can see it everywhere. You can see it in people's eyes, their mannerisms, their voices. Like, you see all these people hurting like you, and you're just like, God, like, I don't want them to go through what I'm going through. And if they're going through what I'm going through, then I need to be there to help them. I want to make it clear that getting help is okay, and I am someone that anyone can go to if they need help or need help getting help. Like, I just want to make them feel as comfortable as possible and as safe as possible, because at the end of the day, like, I care a lot, and I would like to do a lot of things to get it out there. That's working with my school, working with you guys, just advocating in general for mental health and making it seem that getting help isn't a scary thing.
When Eli left Easter Seals, I felt like, first of all, I felt like there was a huge change in him from when he came in. Like, I felt like we had our Eli back. And I feel like he was given the tools to help him in situations that got hard again. And so I think it was a huge help for him.
Boy, is this kid courageous. Is this family courageous to be able to walk their journey and share their journey. And it is folks like Eli and his family that they're leading the way for the next generation, because we should all be talking about brain health. We should be talking about how to keep our brains healthy. We should be talking about that it's normal and acceptable for our brains to get sick sometimes and to need a reset and to need a break and to need the supports. That's what's going to make the difference for our kids in the future.
It's, depression and anxiety is something you're probably going to live for forever. And I actually read this really cool quote that kind of inspired me. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. And that really spoke to me, because the storm probably is never going to pass. And once you learn how to dance in the rain, the storm doesn't seem so bad after all.